Hello, welcome back. It's always so awkward starting a video, especially when it's like new and it's a little uncomfortable. And I could see my neighbors in the backyard probably thinking like, what is this crazy lady doing in her window with her camera? So we're gonna talk about eyeshadow. I've done a video on one color eyeshadow and it looks so beautiful and it's so easy. So you can check that video out. If you're like me and you find makeup to be a creative outlet for you, and when I say creative, I'm not like some artists out there who can just play with lots of colors and do beautiful, beautiful looks. Not that I can't, but that's just not what I choose to do. I have come up with the formula that I find works really well, and you can interchange pieces of it to mix it up so you don't get bored. So I basically you can use 3. I like to use 4 colors. I use a crease color, a lid color, a darker color, and then an accent color. You can totally ditch the accent color and just do 3 and it would work and look beautiful. So I usually get the lightest color is my lid color. I'll use a light to mid-tone of purple or brown. It's usually the colors I use. Then I'll use a dark color to put a little dimension on the outside of my eye. And then I like to just add a little pop of like a little accent color on the outside of my eye. So, and what's cool about this system for me is that you can change any of these colors out. So I'm gonna use browns today, and they're just in my larger palette. So the first thing I'm actually gonna do is go in, and I actually just like to take a big fluffy brush because I'm not being detailed or precise. And I'm just going to use this color here called Cupcake. It's more of a yellowy neutral color. And I'm literally putting that all over my eye. And I like doing this because it creates a good base for your crease color and your dark color so they blend out how you want them to. Because if you use, especially like if you're using an eye base, I don't really like use a dedicated eye base. I use my highlight foundation color. But if you don't use an eye base, if you use an eye base or a dedicated foundation color, if you go in with a dark color, it can kind of stick to that because they're meant to be sticky so it lasts all day. And if you just like put a nice cream color over it, it will help you blend that out better. Okay, so I pretty much only use 2 brushes for my eyes. I am going to go in with, I'll leave it in the palette so you can see it compared to the others. This color here, Basic. That's gonna be my all over color. I have this dark brown here, which is gonna be my outer color. And sometimes I'll play around with using this one or this one as just a little pop on the outside of my crease. So you could really go into with either. This one's gonna be a little more precise. It might lay down a little bit more color too. For me, I sometimes can overblend and find my eyeshadow to look a little, muddy's what's coming to mind, but that's not what I'm intending. Maybe a little messy. And because I have deep set eyes, I really like to shape my eyes to open them up a little bit more. And I like to work in light layers. It gives me a little bit more control with blending and how much color I want. If I just use a little bit on my brush and just dip for more, it takes a little bit longer, but in the end, it works out a little bit better. Then I'll go in with the fluffy side and kind of just diffuse the edges of that so it's not so harsh. And my goal is to make my eyes look bigger, so I like pulling this out so it is parallel with my eyebrow. Then I'll just blend it. I'm not pushing hard. You probably hear me say that a lot. I am not pushing hard when I am putting the color on or blending. don't need to irritate my skin. Your eye skin is so sensitive because it is so thin. And I'm just gonna blend it there. Okay. And my eyes are actually from this side of this eye, just shaped ever so slightly. This eye is just, I don't have downturn eyes, but this one turns a little more than this one does. So I start in there and I'm just going slightly above my crease and I'm basically shaping out a new crease. And then bring it to be a little parallel with my eyebrow. And the biggest thing too is I think a lot of people, they look at it and they're like, especially when you're using colors like pinks and purples, it gets a little freaky. So you're like, abort, abort, this doesn't look right. But once you get everything done and especially get mascara on, it all comes together and looks really beautiful. If you've ever done your eyebrows before you've actually put any makeup on, you know what I mean. Like, it's so scary. If you get like your eyebrows microbladed, I have not done that. Especially those first few days though, it's really intense and can be scabby. And you'll think like, what have I done? Which if you went to someone who's not good at it, that might be legitimate. So always research who you have doing it. I'm a little too terrified to actually do it. My eyebrows, funny enough though, this was a 5-minute, well, I would say probably a 10-minute face look, because then I went in after my face and added some bronzer to it and a little bit of powder. But my eyebrows, seriously, on their own can take up to 5 minutes. Okay, see how soft and gentle it is? So there's 2 of the 4 colors, and you could totally leave it like this. You could add in some eyeliner. And it doesn't need to be black. Black will help thicken up your lash line and make your lashes that lash line look fuller and thicker. But you could do a fun color that complements the color of your eye. So now I'm gonna go in and show you. I mean, realistically, you only need 2 colors. This helps my eyes look nice, wide, and open. But I'm just gonna add in just a smidge of a darker color on the outside of my eye. And how far I bring it in changes from day to day, depending on what colors I'm using and what I'm in the mood for. That's the great thing about makeup, is that you can make it whatever you want. And I just kind of pat and push it. And the difference is really, really subtle because I'm going in with a real light hand. I like to first put the color down at my lash line, so I'm not like putting a ton right here and then it's like, oh no, I didn't want it that dark. If it's by the lash line, it's okay because I don't mind that being concentrated there. So you can see the difference. Not major, it just adds a little bit more dimension. And I'll go back in and kind of blend this line. Then you have the option of being totally done there. This is where I kind of go in with my 4th color. And I'm gonna go in with Zion. It's kind of like a rusty brown. And I'm just taking the smallest amount. Again, totally optional. And just adding it to the outside there. It just makes it a little bit more interesting. Again, it's not something that's super necessary. You could totally leave it just the 2 colors here, but you can see the difference. And some days it just will be what you prefer for that day. Let's even it out. steps. You can leave your eye the way it is, but I'm gonna take that highlight color and just bring it around the outside of my eye here. This rust color really helps to highlight the green. I have hazel eyes, but they pull very green. And so I like to use colors that just kind of help highlight that, which is why I use purples a lot. They really pull the green out. And I love using browns that do the same too. And that's it. You can go in. That's what I love about these brushes from mascara. I'm using all mascara shadows and brushes, is that they're double-sided. So this is like 4-in-1. So I've used 2, and then I used a bigger brush just to put the first color down. You can use this fluffy side. I think this is a Bless Blend Forever, just because it's so big and it's quick. Because with 3 kids, I love doing makeup on a day-to-day basis. I don't necessarily have the time to spend doing it. Okay, sometimes I'll do my eyes first, just in case I have any fallout, but the mascara shadows, even with as soft as they are, they're pretty good about not having a ton of fallout. And then you can just put some mascara and false lashes on if you wear false lashes. So easy peasy. Like I said, you can, once you come up with like a good formula for you that works, you can change out the colors. You can change out that light lid color for a shimmer color. You can change out that mid-tone brown. I had a neutral one for a warm one or a more cool one. You can change out this dark color for a dark purple or black. So that's a basic setup that you can play with. So find something that works for you. Don't be afraid to try it. Try it before you take your makeup off. And like I said, at any point you can call that good, whether it's using just 2 colors, 3 colors. It doesn't need to be anything too hard. And what I love about it, like especially when I use like that little accent color, is you could use a bright, like I have a bright fuchsia color in here. And it's so beautiful, and it's not something you need to be scared of. You can blend it out and it's just more of a darker pink. But yeah, that's it. Bye guys.